In the far future, there will be only war.
The chains are broken.
This will be a good hunt.
Through the dark veil of space-time.
This is Warp Chatter. Stone and steel will speak.
All
Let's
right.
get this over with.
Welcome back once again to the Warp Chatter podcast. This is the podcast dedicated to talking about the Horus Heresy Legion's digital card game, Horus Heresy lore, Warhammer 40,000, Games Workshop, digital card game, yada 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 yada, blah blah blah. This is a podcast by players for players. We're being a little loosey goosey tonight though, because this is kind of a year end wrap up, as it were, so to speak. It's a podcast by players for players. We're not confining ourselves to one topic necessarily tonight. We're going to try to keep it 40k related. We've got a couple players joining us who've been on the podcast before throughout the year. With me as usual.
Champions.
Yes, with me as usual is Axel Manning.
Howdy, howdy, ho. Baba booey.
And then tonight we have with us Dorn, Stache.
Hello.
And Pirate Lahaie.
What's up, boys? Holy fuck, you actually said my name pretty good.
Was it like 95% correct?
Listen here,
good.
Pirate Ladle.
If I was, listen to you know, if I was to say it in English, that would be that. That was pretty good. Mint.
All right, I'll take it. It took a whole year, you know.
Fuck up. That was good.
But yes, so we're doing kind of a year-end wrap-up. As of this recording, this episode will come out after the first of 2022. But we're doing this on the 30th of 2021. And just kind of doing a year-end recap, how the year has been for the game, for the players, for us individually, for the podcast. Some of it may be 40k related, some of it may be Horus Heresy related, some of it may be other fandom related. But you know, that's half the fun of it, to kind of see where the conversations go. But before we get to all of that, I think it's been a while. I want to do player introductions. Dorn, Stache, let's start with you.
Got it. Okay, well, I guess disclaimer for anything Horus Heresy Legions that's discussed, I have not played in probably half a year or so. I still keep up with a bit, and I hang out with enough people to play it that I think I've absorbed a tiny amount of what's going on through, like, osmosis. But not an active HHL player. Some listeners may know me as a former mod of the Reddit, former mod of the Discord, former tournament organizer, and that's about it, I guess.
Okay. And Pirate, how about you?
So I'm Pirate, and I'm the leader of the Masterclass community. I've been playing Horus Heresy Legion for a bit more than 2 years now. Yeah, 2 years since the CAF expansions now. So, it's been a while. It's been a while.
All right. Yeah, it's been out for a couple, and you were on, for those who have not listened or not caught the episode, you were part of Team Canada as well, taking first in the World Tournament.
Fucking right we were.
Ole.
Man, that was insane. Yeah, it was a crazy year for me, but yeah, I was captain of Team Canada during the World Cup, and we did won that. So I've been on your podcast for several times. I think now 2 or 3 times.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was pretty crazy, but thanks for having me again, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think we way back. I don't remember when exactly. I feel like it was before May when we were getting podcast episodes out, get guests, kind of making plans. Somewhere along the way, we had talked about having an end of the year episode where we just kind of hung out and had some drinks and just talked. And I think that's kind of what we're doing now. Some of us have been drinking before we actually hit the record.
For drinks, yeah. The drinks, yeah. We got plenty of drinks for tonight, boys. I do. I know I do.
The drinks.
You can tell, folks at home, Pirate's been drinking. I just started.
Oh, I'm loaded.
It's funny, man, because when I stream, I've been recently starting to do content for the game, and when I stream on Twitch, I have the habit of just going up all the time and just go to the fridge and get a beer while, the other guy is playing. And the people would be writing me like, Jesus Christ, how many drinks are you getting? And, like, you're always up there going for a drink.
They've never met a Quebecois man.
This game makes me thirsty.
You need to get a mini fridge right next to your desk there.
It's not far. It is a mini fridge. It's not too far, though. But if it was next to my PC, I would die.
Oh, you know what you need then? You need to get it on rollers, and then just that way it rolls up next to you.
Yes.
You need just a keg, like a tap right beside you.
Because I'll be honest with you guys. I don't know about you, but if we're talking about event, okay, I don't play event unless I'm pretty drunk, okay, because I find it very boring. I cannot stand playing, 12 runs, making thousands of points just for, just being focused. It doesn't work on me. Okay, I need to, be at least kind of drunk to play event in that game. So sometimes people would be facing me, and I would do dumb mistakes, like stupid mistakes. But because the draft system is so fucked, I normally always get away with it because I draft decks that have 8 copies of the most broken thing I can find. So
Right? Yeah, the draft system is pretty. Ugh. I mean, it's
interesting.
It's interesting. It is not good for new players. It's just not new player friendly. But I mean, there is a method to the madness. It just is rewarding if you have a pocket full of gems to spend.
It has been more than 6 months too, I think. So it was a change during this year.
That is correct. Yeah.
There's a method to the madness, but that don't make it not mad.
No.
I think honestly. If we're talking event a bit here, I think they went the right direction with that because at least it's a lot more enjoyable than it used to be.
Right. I think you don't have to worry about just like, pick this warlord, pick this deck. You can pick the warlord, but you still got to draft a good deck.
Exactly. That opens up for a lot more possibilities. It's more entertaining for guys like me, guys like younger players. It's more fun because at least also that, that gives some skills to player to actually start building decks because it's not something that easy for everyone.
Folks at home, pick any warlord, spam the 3rd deck option, no rerolls. Be a man, take only neutrals. I believe in you.
Sometimes
some guys are going
that
to try
3rd deck
that.
option actually has some good stuff in it, though.
Yeah, but if you're taking all 10 of them, the 3rd option, you're shooting yourself in the foot for a chance of a lollipop.
You might get a termite drill. Come on.
Yes.
Do it.
Your
for
favorite card, Croft. It's your favorite card.
No.
Do it for the thermite drill. Is thermite drill put it into play? I would like to know.
No, gosh, if it was, it would be almost.
Then it'd say a lot of use.
While. Yeah.
It's looking forward with event. I really hope they bring back the colliding legends together.
Yes.
That was so fun.
That was such a good event.
That was the only time where I was not playing drunk event.
that was really fun, and that was something where we saw this year. That was only a couple months ago that we hadn't seen something like that since beta. And that was like they did that for like 2 events in beta with 3 warlords that were available at the time. So the fact that we actually had that now, and then there wasn't just like four factions. It was like pick one of 3 that match with this one of other 3. So you could have like 9+ possibilities depending on what you were going with and pairing with, and some of them were really cool. I like that idea. I think a lot of people did. I don't think anybody actually complained about it. So it would be neat to see that again.
There were some situations where you didn't want Horus with hold at all costs before it was nerfed, but I mean, everyone had access to that bullshit.
Yep.
God. But it was so fun. You were picking Angron, and then you had Chariots of Gods and the Fast 3-3 unit. That was so cool. You could do a real crazy aggro deck, or if you wanted, you could play something a bit more laid back and just, build around that. It was really cool. It opened up for so many possibilities. I really hope that in the future they bring that back because honestly, that was like a wind of, new stuff. That was so cool.
Yeah, it was something unique. I mean, speaking of unique, this year, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we've actually had a Titan event this entire year.
We haven't for 2 years.
No, we did in December last year.
There's someone keeping count. I'll check what his number is at.
Yeah, check his number.
It was in the 400s, I thought.
It's over 300, so it's definitely been over a year.
I'll just at him on main chord because his name
Or
is
facepalm.
Don't get me wrong. Like, I don't like the Titan.
712 days.
Yeah, I'm not personally. I'm not a fan of Titan events. They were fun. They're fun to play like a game or two, but they are just such a drag that they just suck the fun out of playing. Because you're like every turn you're like, okay, I've got to prime this weapon, I got to play this, and like you get to the 10 energy mark, you play 10 minutes, and you win, but you feel like you just like played like a half hour. It's ridiculous.
I enjoyed some of the Titan events. I felt more of a drag on the tank events, personally.
Oh god. Don't talk about the tank event, please.
Yeah.
God, that was crazy.
Yeah, well, I think the tank event is it hurtful because it brings back memories of losing Fafnir Ran in the game?
Oh,
Because you had to play your option was playing the Alpha Legion tank.
Yes.
yeah.
I remember now. Yeah, I spent so much time playing.
Why didn't they make the third warrior, third warlord? Yeah, that's the word. The Legion Glaive, but he put on a mask. Or fifth warlord, not third. What am I saying?
What the hell did you
Where are you at?
Listen, pirate.
Hey, this is a night of drinking. Let him enjoy himself.
Grayson, come over here, my handsome. Oh, he's a
God damn. But yes, Titan event's been a while. You know what's been a while too for event? Raid event. I don't understand why we had a raid event.
Yeah, normally there's a raid event at the end of an expansion prior to the next one, but with the Defenders of Terra, there was no raid event. It was almost like a dry spell where literally, and there was a couple episodes that we recorded the podcast, and I said, listen, if we don't have any news by the end of November, that's when you want to be worried. And we got news in November of, the new expansion, the new content, the Galaxy in Flames. But normally we would have a raid before that, so you would know something's coming, and we didn't get one this year. Yeah, I don't know.
The raid is simple. We're going to stab the fucking Emperor.
I think that's going to be a raid at some point. I think he has to be the next raid boss. I just don't know if they were holding off on that or they couldn't come up with a good raid boss in the meantime. I'm not sure.
I think they were really busy just discussing the future of the game and what direction they wanted to take, right? Because nothing happened for so long, and then all of a sudden everything happened.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Simple solution. Raid boss.
I think there was a lot of thinking.
Yeah, no. Like this expansion, you can actually see Sot was put in.
Yeah, I think there was some plans.
Doesn't mean everything turned out perfect.
But they got the stuff out there, and they can tweak stuff after that. But you could tell that they want to be, let's do Astartes. Let's try to add to stuff that doesn't have enough support for some of the factions. I think we can agree that there's some cards in every faction that's kind of like, okay. Or
no matter who you are, you got fucked.
Yeah, there's something that's just kind of like, why
we're all fucked.
Why did we need this new card? But it's out there, so now if they need to make changes, they don't have to worry about changing something that is working. They can just change more things that aren't working.
Yeah, and I really hope we get a red event though, because the rewards and pushing towards that was really fun, and also that's where we saw the communities. Like I'm talking individual lodges and stuff. Really put up big points up there, right? So that was pretty fun.
Oh, goodbye, cat.
Yeah, I think. We had the Skulls for the Skull Throne thing, but that really wasn't a raid event, and that reward for the
we didn't want it.
We didn't want that. We didn't want Corn's favor, and we got it in like a day.
Yeah, we didn't get Lord of Flies.
No,
says a lot about
I hope we don't get Lord of Flies. I've gone on the record. I want to see it not happen again.
You know what? Justice Spite Orson.
I like
Lord of Flies either.
Jeez.
Dorn, you're finally here. Dorn, I will attach a melta-bomb onto Cassie and Stache.
I was here the whole time.
No, but I mean, no. I mean, like, you're finally back on an episode. I want to make this to you in person. Virtually. I'm going to attach a melta-bomb to Cassian.
He'd survive it.
Would he?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually. His Cassie's kind of
survive it. You're just jealous that Cassian's more useful than the Marigal Dreadnoughts.
That's true.
Yeah.
Speaking of Dreadnoughts, we did get a new Dreadnought Warlord. We got Cardosia.
Nice guy, right?
Yeah.
Talking about useless. He's so cool looking, though.
He's not... He's actually better than Ferris, if you ask me.
Well, okay. Listen, you can polish a turd, but it's still a turd.
It's iron.
Jeez.
It's Iron Hands. But
To be honest, there is potential with
there's
that warlord.
potential.
The problem
Yeah.
is that it's not right now, and
Yeah.
that goes for a lot of warlords. But honestly, once they nerf everything,
That's
that
fast.
everyone's been telling them, that's been telling them for a month now.
Yeah.
I could see some players, some great deck builders do it. I'm not gonna do it because I fucking hate Iron Hands.
Yep.
In this
That's
game with
respectable.
passion, I hate the gameplay that they have. But honestly, I can still recognize the potential. I do not think that this is a bad warlord.
No,
I think he's just not working right now. I would like a medium innie, to be honest. I think that could be cool.
I think the one obviously upsell that he's got for being low initiative is he gets that counterattack, which Iron Warriors or Iron Hands love with Fall of Guard and all. But it does kind of weaken his ability a little bit, depending on if your opponent puts down a troop early. Then you're like, well, there's no point in me buffing. And sometimes he makes crap vehicles, but sometimes he makes Ackless Astra. And that's not too bad to have 2 copies of. If you're going the long game, if you can hold out and play the long game anyways.
Yeah, I wish we could have long games right now. I'm looking at you, Mongolian bike men.
That's the thing, man. I think there's a few decks that need to be tweaked so that the games can go long. I will say this, I forgot to mention. Shoot. Well, I shouldn't say I did forget to mention, but that wasn't even on my radar. I've got neutral spoilers on Tuesday, and I have 2 cards out of 3 that I think, they're good. They're all good. I don't know if people will play them enough or use them enough, but they offer some answers.
Is one rally delete cacophony commander?
No, but you know what? I haven't seen enough cacophony lately. I'm surprised.
Well, everyone's a bike man right now.
Yeah.
If you're not a bike man, you're smacking into your face because of loud music.
That's true. Yeah, and then if they have bikes, then you either hold.
That's how it works, Dorn.
Or the hard removal or jam.
So you have 3 neutral cards. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of them is a legendary.
Ooh.
Nice.
It better be a mission.
I don't know how much, because normally it's not as much.
Yeah, silence.
I don't know. It's not as much cards as when they were releasing in Legion.
Right.
Normally it's like
20.
15, right?
Yeah, it's 5,
20?
5, and 10. Is usually 5, 5, and 10 is what they normally do. One faction gets 10, the other 2 get 5. Although this time around, I don't know if it's going to be that way or what.
Last time it was Imperial Army that got the 10.
Yes, right, with a lot more Solar Auxilia stuff. Yeah.
Yes. So technically, and I think before that it was Chaos with the Cultist. So I'm pretty sure that it should be Mechanicum, eh?
Getting a boost. It would make sense. I mean, because there's a lot of stuff with Mars that hasn't been touched on.
The Great Schism.
The Great Schism.
Because honestly, they should give a trait like the Cultist trait or the Solar Auxilia, even though a Solar Auxilia right now is useless.
Yeah, I think...
Which is the same. It's a shame, really. But I hope they should do something like that with Mechanicum as
I think we asked that during the Q&A, like as an off, like it wasn't officially on the question, but I think we had asked that because, yeah, the Imperial Army has got a trait. The Chaos has got a trait. Can we get something for the Mechanicum? And I don't know. I think they weren't adverse to that, but I don't know if that was like at the top of their list.
I think he wiggled his finger at us and went, "Ooh, maybe."
Yeah.
I know it wasn't a trait initially, but it seems design-wise, like a year ago or so, they seem to have most of the end-of-turn, what is now resolution stuff.
Mm-hmm. They've got a lot of resolution.
So I guess it would have been resolution.
And vehicles, obviously.
They may get a Dark Mechanicum tag, but like maybe.
I don't know. Like they could have like Martian, or Adept, Mars Adept. I don't know. Tech Priest. Tech Priest seems too specific.
Yeah, especially they're gonna put the Tech Priest tag and then put it on a fucking robot for no reason.
Yeah, it's got to be just Tech Priest. I mean, listen, you don't just become a Tech Priest overnight.
I'm gonna put a red robe on and start yelling at binary at people in the streets.
Well,
Perfect.
You can go about it that way. I think it can.
But it could be something you could call it maybe machine spirit, right? Like something that is believing in the the machine spirit or something.
Well,
like,
that's
what you could do.
That's everyone.
They could actually turn it around a little different, and instead of having it on infantry, have it on vehicles. and just call them like automata, right? Because they have a lot of those.
Yeah, I don't know why the vehicle tab is put on robots, but again, they're gonna mess up and make it a Salix cohort has automata.
Yeah,
they don't.
But like if they did, because then you could have somebody who actually just does stuff for automata over vehicles.
Yeah, that could be neat. I'm just upset how Mechanicum's tags have been utterly murdered. Like things that aren't vehicles are labeled vehicles. Things that are vehicles are labeled infantry.
I was a little disappointed that the replacement Fabricator General ended up as an epic troop and not a warlord.
Yeah, I don't know why. I must set Scoria as the way we got him instead of the event one.
Oh, poor Scoria. You know who we don't have yet? We don't have a legendary Imperial Army warlord.
Yeah, we do. You mean Mechanicum?
Oh, you mean the assassin? Yeah, we do, I guess.
Assassin. Okay, listen. The assassin exists. Sadly, I still want the Solar Auxilia leader guy, dude in the baby carrier, to be the guy. Yeah, that sentence came out right. There is a Imperial Army Solar Auxilia leader who has a fucking baby carrier because he's so goddamn old. And I want him as a goddamn warlord.
The general that was in the last event?
No. Was he? I don't think he was.
I would like something I would like if we were talking about neutrals, in especially Mechanicum. I would like to see some more Servitor / Arcoflagellants, that kind of things. Like, we don't have a lot, and they were there back in the Heresy.
Were they? I don't think Flagellants were, but Servitors were, and we do have a lot of Servitors.
They were. They've always been there, for sure. They were used. They were used on Mars.
I don't think Flagellants specifically, because those are religious, and that's a big no-no.
Well, the Mechanicum hasn't changed, though.
The Schism says otherwise.
Well, yes, but no, right? Because it's the Schism says that, but the Loyalists, the Loyalist Mechanicum, they're still doing Arcoflagellant, and they were the same 10,000 years.
No, what I mean is, I don't think the Arcoflagellant is 30k at all. Because
maybe I'm not sure. We don't, but they could be. I mean, fuck. If servitors were around, I don't know.
Well, servitors are different. Servitors, you just rip a guy's head out or brain out. You just go put a toaster in there, and then Baba Booey, you now have a machine man. That's how that works. If you want to correct me, I'm not. You can't, because I'm right.
So yeah, if we can get some of those, like, that would be pretty neat. I'm not sure though, but we'll see. I guess, but that's cool. I actually forgot that we were getting neutrals next Friday. That is true.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Arcoflagellant. And the only ever mention about them is tied to the Ecclesiarchy and the Inquisition. So
probably after the Heresy, then, eh?
Yeah, because those guys, they weren't around. They tried to be. The Emperor went shut.
Yeah, that makes sense.
One day I'm going to get hammered and explain 40k lore, and that's going to be a great video.
Oof. That's going to be insane.
Then the Emperor said, "No magic, you whores." And so it was true.
God damn.
And Magnus was like, "But really?"
And then fucking did it anyways.
He's like, "Nah, Dad. Dad didn't mean that. He wasn't talking about me. It's okay. It's cool.
Dad didn't mean I had to get rid of my demon that I talk to occasionally. I'm gonna keep him."
He's like, "Hang on, demon. Let me ask you a question. Was my dad being serious?" The demon's like,
"Man, you guys talk about
for reals, bro."
Go ahead.
Huh?
So yeah, Thousand Sons, man. You just mentioned they were the most touched faction for a full year, I think.
Yeah,
because they changed them 3 times, right?
Yep. They over this year they gave them a big rework that wasn't quite where it should have been. Then they gave them a second rework that got them a little bit stronger, and then they finally did a third touch up to, I think, just the warlords to give them that Psyker one.
Like, they're actually fun to play now.
I like them now, though. Good. I do. I feel like
that's the thing. They're fun.
When you're playing Thousand Sons now, for the first time since launch, it feels like you're actually playing how they should have been on launch. Like, they've got their stuff, but it's not too powerful. But at the same time, it feels really unique. They've got a lot of cool. You've got Psyker abilities. You've got Psyker tactics if you want to go that route. You've got warlords who can actually do things without, like, just unlimited free energy. You've got a little bit of a resource to actually manage. And at the same time, it can still snowball. I like. It took them 2 years, but they finally got there.
I don't want to say perfect, but I love their current state.
Yeah.
They're okay. They're okay. There's always
they're not meta dominant.
Everywhere.
They're fun.
Honestly, I love Stache, the new 5th Warlord.
Yeah.
Is so
Oh man,
right?
I really wish they released him like he said on the tin.
I'm so glad they nerfed him. I'm so glad.
Court favors will be back.
That would have been just crazy.
Too much.
Imagine the monk Quinza against Stache for a full fucking month.
You wouldn't even be.
That.
Yeah, it would, I think in that matchup, I still think Stache would probably take it because he's got more access to precog potentially.
I mean, all he's got to do is spam psychic energy, which has no
and
cap.
he just has to be like, here, I've got 4 energy. I can orders from Terra. Boom.
That would just be a matchup of Udra's precognition first.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's sad as fuck when you take
that
it.
Really is.
When you're playing a match, it's the same thing for against Quinza. Well, you actually know because he's just gonna draw it because the streak trait is just ridiculous.
Yeah,
he just draws everything. So, but yeah, it's crazy, man. This is what right now the Tales and Sons are less good than white scars, obviously, because they lost their cycling a while ago. I think they lost it in the first patch. So.
Yes. Yep. That's okay. Yeah, they have to give up something to get something else.
Yeah.
Of course.
Tales and Sons came out pretty balanced with their bonus cards, though.
Yeah. I think they came out pretty good. I think for this wave here, for wave 3, I don't know. Like, I think Night Lords have got some good stuff, but personally, I think Raven Guard and Alpha Legion have got some really cool stuff too. I don't know. Like, I haven't really looked. I haven't been able to play all of it just yet. I don't think the Iron Hand stuff is impressive, but the Salamander stuff I've had a lot of fun with. So
Death Mountain.
When you check
crazy.
that out, the big winners of this patch are Alpha Legions and Raven Guards. But Raven Guards, you can put them a step above, because I'm telling you, they're gonna nerf. We all know they're gonna nerf White Scars next week, probably.
Right.
And then I can assure you that Raven's Guard is gonna be everywhere after that, because every single fucking card they got is playable, and they were already good.
Yeah.
I was playing Korax in top 50, Sharokin in top 50 without a problem before. Now they're even better. So,
yeah, they've got some late game answers. That Cleave 3 speeder and a 5, basically 2 damage to everything that you can combo and make even more damage.
Yeah. And that fucking 6/7 guy that
is
every
cool.
time something is silent.
Very underrated. Like, he's very underrated, but when he triggers, if you set up right, he's got stealth for the turn. So the next turn, you're like, I'm just gonna sentence 3 or 4 times, and he's just giving you free damage.
Mm-hmm.
He's amazing, and the stats are good too. It's a 6/7 for fuck's sake, with an amazing ability, and it's stealth. It's honestly one of the best common card.
I feel like it's a very good replacement for Shadow Wardens.
Oh, it's way better than Shadow Warden, if you ask me.
Yep.
It's way better. I've seen right now, even in my... Because I've played... I even did a video with the new Warlord of the Raven Guard, which I can't pronounce the name right now, because I will
fucking Birdbeak. Birdbeak.
Yeah, that guy. I called him the Ultimate Penguin. And
The Ultimate Penguin. That sounds like a wrestler.
Yes! Something you would see on the WWE.
That's right. Here he is, going down the aisle. It's the Ultimate Penguin. Oh my god.
Me and Dorn are on hiatus, so we can only really nod at this.
Yeah, and that fucking guy, that fucking warlord, I build up with Astral and get that guy specifically, and oh my fuck is it working good, okay? Like, this is amazing. I'm telling you, Raven Guards is gonna be the new flavor of the January month.
Listen here, kid, it's a new thing. It's a new shit. You gotta try it.
Get on it, okay?
It's called Raven Guard.
Winners take Raven Guard.
This is like an Ice-T SVU episode. Kids are calling it Raven Guard. They like to dress up and crap on each other. It's freaky shit.
I'm sorry, but I think I walked into the wrong room.
Have you not seen these Ice-T SVU memes? They're great.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
They make me laugh every time. I'm
100% sold, but
if you haven't watched Law and Order SVU, he's a character in that, and he always is like the streetwise character, so he knows all the stuff that the kids are doing on the street. And the show's been on for like 20 years, and somewhere along the way, somebody made a bunch of memes, and they just type it like he says it, and they just make up stuff. It's just the stupidest stuff. But if you watch the show and you read it in Ice-T's voice, it sounds like it's something that he would say.
I don't know how to feel about this.
Here, I'm just typing this up. Here's one. This is a legit one. This is a legit one from the show.
It's like, Axel, just think of what a boomer in a Hollywood boardroom would think of as drug slang names on the street.
Lab found traces of cocaine and sourdough. They call it sweet chowder. It's a drug soup from Baltimore.
Christ.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Kid was in deep on what they're calling ASMR. Starts out listening to a pretty girl help him sleep. 3 months later, he's got Russian vampire twins doing his makeup just to get a tingle.
What the fuck?
The only drug names I know of, cool shit, like demons and hulks. Like, what the fuck?
It's called Pink
I'll
Cushion.
not inform you
Pledge
more about
raises a
drugs.
hedgehog from birth. Then the brothers tell him to sit on it during initiation.
And it's like, we talk about the winners of that match. If we check the whole expansion we got for Horus Heresy Legion, the latest one, and we check the loser of that, what I would put at the bottom there, it would be word bearers.
Of the whole...
How dare you? I mean, you're 100% right.
Bearers, okay, there is not a single card. Not a single card that I checked, because I love Zordulayak. I'm not a big fan of the other warlords. I like Rome, though. And I checked all my decks, okay? And then I got all of the cards for Word Bearers, the new cards. I checked all of the cards and I saw there's not a single one that I want to put in my deck.
I like the one with Sacrifice. Besides that, the rest of them are kind of
but I thought it was pretty good at first, too. But then I looked at all the other stuff and what you want to do with the Word Bearers on the first turn. I was like, even that, I don't want to put it in. They messed up so bad for Word Bearers. It's sad because, okay, let me tell you a story, guys. I have a guy in Masterclass that is named Arden Larkin. And Larkin is a big Lorgar fan, okay? Like, he plays Lorgar a lot, like, nonstop, okay? And when he saw that there was actually no card for Lorgar, like, there was no card there that helps for Demon Transformation or anything, he was so frustrated about it. He was like, what the fuck is this patch? There was nothing playable in that. And sadly, I agree with him. Word Bearers, not in a good spot with that patch there.
The only thing I would argue... And I mean, I do think in terms of their cards, you're right. Like, nothing struck me. I was like, oh, that's awesome. I do think their epic could offer a lot of late game free health. If you're like, oh, Battleflies, fuck that, I'll take 7 health.
Oh yeah, actually that could be good because Battleflies is usually fucking garbage.
It's everywhere,
but
right?
It's so niche and
it is,
so
but if you know you're going to have like high health stuff that you don't really want, or even like if you're like, oh, you gave can attack to my 15/15, all right, that's free 15 health, whatever. Like, I mean, if you had to, I wouldn't put 2 of it in a deck, but the one thing that not necessarily Lorgar specifically, but Word Bears in general, like just having a free 5+ health on your Warlord sometimes out of nowhere could be pretty good, but it is very niche.
I mean, it triggers Sacrifice, so you can get Curse of Set off, you can get Ashen Circle off.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, they got that cool that troop that's got the Destroy a Friendly Infiltrate, deal damage equal to itself to all enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a Terminator.
Cool. But the problem is, it's you need to destroy an infantry. It's on 6 costs. There is so many things on 6 costs that is better. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I'd rather play Possessed Marines any day of the week.
Possessed Marine or combo with 2 cards down. Basically, it is tricky. I mean, they didn't get a lot more token support. They got a lot more sacrifice support, which I guess was to go with their mission. Yeah.
What is their mission?
Their mission is like when you sacrifice, and it's not even sacrifice.
A friendly troop destroy another friendly troop 5 times.
Right, so it's not even like when you sacrifice. So it's not even like you can just play a tactic and kill your stuff. You literally have to have a guy kill something.
Mm-hmm.
I think you guys already poked holes in this after you had Oliver on, of the idea that the missions are to highlight unused play styles. Well, that's not really unused for Word Bearers. They already sacrifice their own guys. Meanwhile, I'd argue the Salamander's mission, because I did look it up, that is highlighting something that clearly you could tell they wanted people to do based on a few of the cards that were already in their card list. I don't know if it actually worked, But like, I feel like that's more in line with what Oliver said the mission was supposed to be, of like highlighting a playstyle people aren't using.
I would
so
agree.
for salamanders, use some damn infantry. Word bearers, we already with Ashen Circle and other stuff like popping your own guys.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yes, you're totally right. You're totally right, Dorn. And if you're talking salamanders, it is right, and it is actually I like the concept a lot. Problem is I tried that. I built a deck with Arsenal. I got my fucking face destroyed like 5 times in a row. Then I tried on ladder, got my face destroyed too because it's not working. But it is a cool thing. The problem, you can actually do it with salamanders. You can do it, but you require a pretty big amount of luck. However, with the word bearers, it's like Scuff said. It's a troop destroy a troop. You know how many troops that do that? Not a lot. Not enough to do it fucking 5 times in the match.
And the ones that do aren't exactly ones that you want to have in your deck. Like, it was a lot easier. My go-to, typically, is I'll have like a las rifle section, so if I can't get my cultists to die on the attack, now that they've changed sacrifice, I can just zap it and still get the sacrifice. That would count. No, that wouldn't count. That would just be me playing a rally effect that damage. I don't think that would count towards it. If I played like a tactic, destroy a troop and gain like the epic tactic that they added, destroy a troop and gain X health, while that would trigger sacrifice, that wouldn't reduce my mission. I literally have to play something like Ashen Circle or the Gorlem Squad, the 3/3, who then gets like a relentless. It's really clunky for what you have to do, and like you said, it doubles down on something that they already do, as opposed to maybe something that's more like, I don't know, like if I had to pick word bearers. Something that's kind of fringe would be like give Demon Host to X units. Obviously, it'd be a little bit easier for Lorgar, but there are other units that give Demon Host.
It would work for Lahaie too. It would work with Lahaie too, because with Lahaie, I normally you want to play Lahaie and build around his special card and stuff, so that would work for sure, 100%. That would be better, at least for fuck's
And I
sake.
would rather them do something. I mean, if they could do something for Argyle Tal, but not Rom, that would be cool too. But I don't know how they would do that.
Yeah, extra card, easy. Fuck it.
No, not enough.
Well, no, mission-wise,
no.
like if he killed an infantry, but
no,
Rom can
like
do that,
simple.
and that's not really worthwhile.
The coding should just be, if a troop dies during your turn, but not from retaliation damage, trigger blank.
Kind of bit like the Reckoning Gulliman, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So, that would be better. That would
So,
be better
so would
for
you?
sure.
So, Pirate, would you rate them at the bottom of just wave 3, or the bottom across all 3 waves for Galaxy and Flames?
All 3 waves.
Really?
They're at the bottom of all 3 waves. Yes, personally, yes. I don't know what you think, Scoff, but I don't see any other faction as weak as them if you look just at the new cards.
If I'm looking at just new cards, I think there's a good argument there. I would also, honestly, consider very close between Iron Warriors and Iron Hands. I feel like those 3 are all at the bottom, because, like, while maybe the Iron Warriors and Iron Hands got like one good card, it felt like a lot of their cards were not great, and their missions
You're totally right.
terrible.
Totally right. And they're terrible. Most of the cards are terrible. At least they have one playable card, right? Or 2. And while there is an argument that can be done for Zila Spawn, that is the epic one for the Word Bearers, I still think it's not that. It's not. I don't.
No, it's super niche. It's not like this is going to be really cool. It's like you have to make a conscious decision to include that in your deck for a reason.
So let's look at something real quick that I find hilarious. So the missions that really work on they're supposed to work on non-Primarchs better because it's like a new reckoning.
Mm-hmm.
But the Word Bearer one, if you play it as not Logar, you're shooting yourself in the fucking foot because it's giving you demons every turn. That's giving you maintenance.
Yeah, you've got to play Book of Lorgar if you're going to do that.
Exactly. Like, I'm not happy.
Yeah, that sucks. They honestly, but that's just. Like it's
that's just
it's
Word
only
Bearers.
3, but like it's 3 faction. Let's say the 3 faction we just named. All the other ones got at least some playable cards that is nice. Okay, some stuff that actually make you go, okay, maybe I want to build a new deck and include some of that stuff in it and see how it goes. Right now, it's not possible because Quinzal's all over the place. But once this is done, I can see it. I can see people playing a lot more different shit.
I know a lot of people are tested, especially following the Iron Warriors changes. The mission is not bad. It's doable. It's fun to play Siege with a couple, which that's a statement. First off, like, who would have ever thought somebody would say it's fun to play Siege? In
fact, I think you're actually working for
I'm actually, we're in the I Have Chair Studios, so everything here doesn't make sense. But, like, in a certain deck, whether it's Forex or Kroger, even Perturabo, I've got a true Perturabo that I actually really enjoy, with some periodic siege. I'm not playing mission for it, but they've got some cards that kind of like, hey, I'm going to snowball now, and now comes the pain. So yeah, so they've got something that I think people could go to. Again, you have to get rid of these uber fast games, or the games that like the one turn kill you at 7 energy plus, to enjoy something like that. But I don't know about Iron Hands just yet. I want to play the Warlord. I don't have the Warlord, so I can't judge. I don't know about the rest of their troops, although I do like the fact that they got a couple extra vehicles to support their concept. I think their mission is terrible, and I think their quote unquote superior supply lines is trash. But that's just me.
Which card? The one that draws you a vehicle?
Yeah, for 5 energy.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to play that.
Terrible. At 5 energy, why wouldn't you just play a vehicle at that
That's
point?
way too late.
Yeah.
That's way too late.
Yeah.
Like you want to play cards that use cost early in the game, not mid range.
Right. You're like,
and especially for a faction that is known to play mid range.
And at 5 energy for the Iron Hands, you're playing Servo Harness, or you're playing something like, okay, now I can really get going. You're not like, okay, I'm going to buy one more turn to get a vehicle for 300 less. Like, it doesn't make sense. It's one of the few arguments that Mortem has made that I actually agree with, where he compared like supply lines, which cost 2 energy less and gives you a 1 less discount. You know, that was my Christmas present to Mortem, as I unblocked him.
You're a good man. You're a good man, Scott.
You gave the poor man what he wanted.
I did. I said Merry Christmas.
Yep. Just for fun, Dorns, have you been, following a bit for the expansion, though? Like, looking at cards, and have you seen a bit of that around, even though you're not playing the game as much as before?
Yeah, I mean, one, I still listen to Scuff here and there, and two, I just out of curiosity, like, before we started recording, I asked you all about Alpha Legion Salamanders. Like, I look at the ones that I'm moderately interested in, and almost considered coming back. I will say, though, when I saw the Iron Warrior stuff, I just sort of realized, like, Narek is kind of dead for me. Or at least the way I played him, I couldn't see doing that anymore. And that kind of turned me off. And Alpha Legion almost brought me back again, but I hear talk about the white scars, and I don't know. I'm more productive not playing Legions. So
one day the white scars will be put up against a wall, and I will happily turn a blind eye.
It's funny because at the start of this year, if you would have thought that people were going to be complaining about the white scars,
it'd be crazy.
It's really interesting because I mean,
I would call you crazy.
Yeah, you'd be like, "Are you kidding me? Like, who cares about the white scars?"
They've been terrible for not terrible. They've been so average for so long.
Yeah, they've just been kind of like forgotten. Like, yeah, they do what they do. Okay, who cares? Like, there's stuff that does things better, or there's stuff that it just
honestly.
Consistent.
Yes, sure, exactly. But would people have expected that brief moment of I can't remember his name now. The Lion's like adoptive father/brother. I can't remember his name.
Oh, Luther.
Thank you. I mean, would people have expected that brief period of Luther dominance where, like, every other match was Luther stealing your troops?
No, that's sometimes all it takes is just one patch, right?
Mm-hmm. But if you would have told me in January 20 that White Scar were gonna get a new mechanic and they were gonna be as dominant as they are right now, I would have called you crazy, because I would have never seen that come in, man. Because and honestly, I want to play Jagatai Khan, but I'm so tired of seeing white scores that I cannot bring myself to play him right now. Because I think Jagatai Khan would be a lot of fun with that streak mechanic if they fucking nerf the bikes and all, and you just really build around. Okay, you can draw cards, it's fine. The mission, okay, you need to cross the cost a bit, but at least Jagatai Khan right now would feel more playable, I think.
He's all.
Yeah.
I know. I tried him after the week 1. The new stuff, and I was playing around with Hibukan and Kinza and Jagatai Khan. He is more fun because Streak gives you some more combinations, and you can actually include more troops in your deck and feel the reward for it. But that -1 energy is really painful for him, especially in the way the game is now. It's like, man, like even going first, like that hurts a lot.
Definitely. But at
He
least the
hasn't
fact
been-
that the mission cost 1, at least now you have a first
You
turn.
have a first turn play at the very least. Like you can do something with it. The downside is you're down a card, but you have a lot of card draw options. You have a lot of pick a vehicle, draw a
Cycling,
vehicle.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's been irrelevant for so long. I'm amazed they haven't taken that off of him.
Yeah, I agree.
I know.
It's crazy.
I was
to me that
surprised
didn't
when they
make it to-
when they did both versions of the White Scars patch to date that they left it on. I was like, really? Okay. I mean,
Yeah, I would have expected that was the first thing they were going to change. Is that so? Yeah, I was very surprised too.
I would.
I mean, isn't that confusing to new players? You
It's-
pick this warlord, and his energy doesn't work the same as all the other warlords.
Did you say confusing to other players?
I had to. I will say, I also give Oliver points for when he actually put that out there. I appreciated it.
Yeah, making reference to the meme made me happy.
It was good. It was good to mention it. No,
It really confused me.
I think the big thing with Jagate Khan, I know why they did it, because his reckoning is really powerful. Okay, cool. I think, personally, keep his reckoning as it is, but either change the cost or change how it's reduced. Like, we have Streak now, so make his reckoning, like, every time you trigger a Streak, -1 cost to your reckoning. Like, do something like that. Then he can play troops. Then you can give him energy. Then it becomes much more of a playstyle as opposed to just get to eat energy and go ham after that. Like, I think that would be a more creative approach. I hope that they would do something with that.
I agree. Totally agree. That would make a lot more sense. It would be a lot more, and it's without troops, which kind of sucks when you think about it. Because why? Like, if it was Engron, I would understand, because Engron fucking hates everyone, right? And it's basically already that Engron doesn't play troops, but that makes sense, right? No one complains about Engron not playing troops,
Right?
Because it makes sense both in game right now, and it makes sense in the lore. But Jadakai Khan is not like, fuck you, you Stormseer piece of shit.
Right. No, he's right on his bike, right next to his guys. He's in the middle of the storm where he needs to be.
He's one of the dudes.
Fucking guy cried when Targetai sacrificed himself.
Yeah.
You know?
That, which, by the way, I said it way back when, but I mean, that is a great book, Pathway to Heaven. That was really good.
Amazing.
Yeah, I'm started on Born of Flame. That's the book I was waiting on forever. I finally got a copy, and then I can really finish up the Horus Heresy saga. I think I've got 4 books after that, but I was disappointed that Born of Flame is actually a short story anthology. I was thinking it was going to be a novel that would conclude the Salamander story, and I don't think it's going to, unless there's a short story in there that wraps up stuff. I think it's just a novella collection.
Nice, but yeah, that's a good book too. That's nice that you got there, though, because I know you haven't started. You didn't started to read the book.
Don't worry, you got this.
No, it took a while.
Yeah.
It took a while. Yeah, and then I mean, I've got all the Siege books up to date. I just got to get through the Heresy before I can read them. So maybe.
Did you read Warhawk? Because I just finished it.
I have not.
Like a couple
Why do you have to
weeks.
get through the heresy?
I read them. Well, see, here's the thing. For 40K, my favorite thing about 40K is it's up until they start doing the Dark Millennium stuff, is like you could just pick a book that you want to read and read it. You
Yeah,
don't have to worry
exactly.
about
It's
anything
just
else.
setting.
But Heresy, I've got to read them in order. I've got to read, even though they're not 100% chronologically in order, I feel like I got to read them in print order for some things to make a little bit more sense for me.
Yeah.
Definitely, I agree with you there, and I'm so glad I started early because now I'm up to date. So
Yeah,
that's cool.
it's always funny when somebody's like, I'm going to start the Heresy. It's like, dude, there's like 55 books. Start with book 1.
Fuck you, I'm gonna start the heresy.
Yeah.
Tell me how you feel. Like, oh man, this Logan character is so cool. I was like, okay, take it easy. Take it easy.
There's a lot more coming, boy.
Don't get attached. I want to tell you
Papa
something.
Pirate says don't fall in love with any character. They're gonna die.
Yikes! Yeah, no, this is 40K.
No.
You need to read that and saying everyone's a piece of
That's
shit.
why you need to watch the Gaunt's read the Gaunt's Ghost. It's like, man, I love this. Oh, there goes his head.
There's some good
What
books.
about Colonel Schaefer's?
Schaefer's Last
Oh,
Chances
yeah.
was great. The book one.
Well, the Last Chancer, they're made to die.
Yeah. Last
In their blood.
Chancers, his first book of Last Chancers was one of my favorite Gav Thorpe books. And then after that, book 2 was okay. Kill Team. And then book 3 was like, okay, I feel like they made you write this one. And I never got a chance to read book 4, which I think I heard takes it kind of back to its roots, which I liked because it was very much a March of Heroes story, even though it's Imperial Army. Like, that's the whole point, is like everybody's got a little bit of a story. Some people make it, some people don't. If you've never read The Black Company, written by Glenn Cook, that is an amazing series. And he doesn't write the same way, but it's the same kind of idea, right? These are all mortals. They've all got names, but it's, some are going to make it, some aren't. And sometimes the action happens off screen and a bunch of people get fucked up. And then you're like, oh shit, like 3 people that were just in this last chapter are gone. Like, it's really good. And then the way Glenn Cook writes those books, they're not 40K. I would say Black Company sounds like it's a 40K thing. It's not. It's a fantasy. But the way he writes them is modern, and the narrator is the historian of the company. But the historian title changes over the course of like 3 books, so you get a completely different narrative approach based off of that character's perspective of what's important. So like book 1, the narrator is a lot more concerned with like the actual like day-to-day, like, you know, like meticulous like details, like accounts of stuff, like this is what we got paid, this is who we talked to. And by book 3 is literally like a guy who's like in and out of it and like having like flashbacks and stuff, and his narrative is like, I woke up and shit was going on, man. I didn't know what happened, and then this guy was coming at me, and it's really interesting. I would recommend it. Don't start at book 3. You got to start at book 1 to know who the characters in the story are. But very good story arc. I got that recommended to me once, and I did not. I appreciated it. So sidebar from 40K.
Yeah.
It's 40K.
There's amazing
Outside by all day about 40K.
Yeah.
Amazing books out there, really. That's awesome. So, and yeah, hopefully. You know, I thought it was pretty cool that in the game they took, you know, some of the recent event and stuff, really, you know, making them fit with the latest novels as well, like Saturnine and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
We got to play warlords that were at Saturnine and all that stuff. That was pretty cool too.
So
hopefully
Kroger didn't kill Fafnir Rand, right? Rand survives.
Rand survived. Okay, wait. Go ahead. Okay,
He's gonna start drawing on the fucking wall.
No. I got a text. I got a text somewhere that I put every time someone's fuck Fafnir Rand in MC. And give me a second here. I will tell you guys. What it is, but it is amazing. Okay, it is. I just first of all, okay. So Fafnir Rand, the guy, he survived. The Great Crusade, the Horus Heresy, the Siege of Terra, the Great Scarring, the Iron Cage, the Second Founding, the First Black Crusade, and finally the Third Founding, where he founded the Executioner's chapters, and he also outlived this fucking Primarch. What about
We don't know that. Dorn only lost an arm.
Well, I don't know if Dorn is dead. I'll throw that out there, but that is a long ways to live, because I think, if I remember correctly, Sigismund died at the onset of the First Black Crusade.
He died the very first Black Crusade.
Right.
Yes.
He was basically the the welcome mat. You know, not that in a bad thing. Like, he was basically like, you know, the 13th Company of Black Legion.
He was a welcome mat, but not in a bad way.
No, they sent him after, like, hey, here's our calling card. Guess what? We're back. You know.
So yeah, Fafnir Rand's a fucking badass.
And the Executioners too.
They are so cool. They are so cool. When I first started, reading stuff about 40K, I was like everyone. You know, you look through that stuff and you're like, man, you're looking for a favorite, right? You're looking for a favorite chapter, and I was reading stuff, and then I got into the Imperial Fist. I was like, those guys are pretty cool, and then I was looking at the Descendants, right? And those guys, they just struck me. Like, those fucking badasses that that if you want to be chapter master, you got to be the strongest, you got to be the sharpest guy out there, right? Anyone can challenge you and kill you anytime if they deem you are not worthy of leading them, right? I thought that was cool as fuck, and all those kind of word eater, I don't remember all they were called before, Engron happened.
Warhounds.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're basically that, right? I thought it was super cool. So yeah, they're amazing.
Now, they're not the anti-psychers, right? Because there's actually a couple. Actually a couple Legion.
No, there's a lot
chapters that
you're thinking.
I'm thinking.
You're thinking the Exorcist.
The Exorcist. That's who I'm thinking of.
Which would be 666th chapter.
Yeah.
Is it
that actually
that put demons in people?
No.
Yeah, the Exorcist. No, the Exorcist put the demon in you, and then you take the demon out, and you go, "Yeah, I'm cool," and they go, "Yeah, you cool."
Yeah, that's pretty fun.
Then there's the Nova Marines, I believe, are basically like they hunt and subdue psychers, and there's a couple other ones in there, but
Really, I thought the Nova Marines. Are you sure?
They were in the Eisenhorn book. That's where I draw that from. And granted, that is old lore. So maybe
Old
that.
lore.
I can't remember who Nova's from. I don't think they were from Dorn, though.
No, they were not.
I thought they were
Ultramarines.
Gilman or...
Yeah, they're an Ultramarines.
Okay, yeah.
Or third founding. Or
Rule of thumb, if they're not Dorn, they're from Gilman.
Yeah.
Hey, what about the Sons of Medusa? There's loads of Iron Hands heretics out there.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm just going to leave the silence.
And the most practical Marines, the Raptors. You got some Raven guys here and there.
You know who you don't see enough? I remember when I first got started in the hobby, I had the 3rd edition Codex Space Marine. And, I mean, granted, painting at the time was a little different, but it was like it had that
Say Crimson Fists?
Well, Crimson, I'm not talking about the cover, though. I'm talking about, like, that splash page where they had, like, 40 different chapters, and they had them all painted, and then throughout the course of the book, like, it would show a unit, and like, troop unit, HQ, show a painted unit of each of those, whatever was available in the army, and they were in painted different chapters, so you got a variety, whereas now the codexes are like, here's what the Ultramarines look like for every single unit. It's a little disappointing. But the Silver Skulls, I like the Silver Skulls, even though they were just straight, like, bolt gun, metal, and black, it was always kind of like, oh, okay, like, pretty straightforward, although I think they're supposed to be...
They're Iron Warriors.
Iron Warriors, right?
Fucking Iron Warriors. And someone keeps trying to tell me they're not Iron Warriors because the Codex calls them Ultramarine Descendant. They're made by Danny Och's fucking genes. You can't tell me otherwise.
Yeah, I think, and that's the supposed reference. But there was some cool. It's like where you would see, the anybody who could paint a model and paint an entire army, where they would do like the split colors. You know what I mean? Where they're like one side is white, one side is red, or they would
like
do
the Griffins,
or they do the quarters, like the top left and the bottom right are the same color. I appreciate those. Like that takes some dedication.
Oh yeah.
Anybody who can freehand the Lamenter's shoulder pad also gets my.
I will kiss right on your mouse.
I have been paid to do that before.
Yeah.
God damn.
That's impressive for multiple reasons.
I'm not great at painting 3D things, but like people would give me their banners all the time because that's just 2D at that point.
Yeah.
So I would do little portraits of their commander or like whatever it is they wanted on the plastic banners that you could get.
Freehand banners were nice. Like sometimes, I mean, that would be the centerpiece of a model, and that was one thing I kind of miss. Like even though logistically it doesn't make sense in the middle of a war where they would have like, banners from their backpacks like, hey, where should we shoot this artillery? Well, you see that banner walking around the trench over there? Like that's where they HQ guys at.
Nah, it's them going to the Knights motif.
Yeah.
You had Bannermen.
Yeah,
Bannermen are cool. Bring back Bannermen.
I think so.
Oh fuck, I dropped shit. Oh, everything's falling.
Well, Scuff, you're assuming that the artillery can shoot at the banner guy and ignore the assault marines dropping out of the sky right into them.
Well,
also the men wearing bright blue on a green planet.
That's the thing too, because
hard to find an earthshaker while a chainsaw's going through you.
I think somewhere along the way they got rid of the banner because they were like, oh, we actually have drop pod models now. And realistically, how is it? We're like, I'm going to squeeze in this drop pod. Don't mind my giant banner pole that's on my backpack. Like, it just doesn't quite work the same way.
To be fair,
I'll
I would
give you
join
that.
up in a holy army if they told me we have bannermen. Like, you sold me. This is my only prerequisite.
Oh, well, so that goes back to the reaction to the Exorcists and how fucked that is. But I mean, that used to be the case for all the chapters, that their process of becoming a Marine was complete shit. I mean, one of the first Dark Angels books, when they were like Native American, it pretty much expressed the majority of those kids are going to die, and sometimes not because they weren't courageous enough or because they were kids, but like, oh yeah, you have a genetic defect that you don't know about because it's a primitive planet, but I know you do, and you're going to get cancer soon. Might as well just kill you now. You've seen too much.
Or when they're like, okay, 2 of you guys have been selected. Now, whoever kills the other one gets to be the Marine. What?
They still do that often, and I love it so much.
Who do that again?
A lot of chapters. That is like 50% of chapters.
I remember people telling me about that, but there's so many chapters out there. But yeah, the process.
And that's how it should be.
Space Marine, it's fucked.
Yeah,
there's so many.
Hey,
and that
kiddo,
is a part
you
of what
become
made
a Space Marine?
Salamanders stand out. The Salamanders were like, oh no, just go apprentice with that guy in the mountains. That's again part of what made them different. Was like they weren't murdering their recruits.
Kiddo, you want to become a Space Marine? Go talk to the weird man in the woods on the mountain. He'll teach you.
Talk to Ben Kenobi, make some armor, fight a dragon.
It's crazy. Even the Space Wolves like, oh yeah, we're gonna make shit.
No.
You go in the cold and die.
No, that's after you become the Space Wolves. Recruiting process is great.
Yeah,
they fucking come from their mountain and just pick up corpses and revive them. They just resuscitate them and go, "You're a Marine now, kiddo." And they go, "Where the fuck am I?" Go into the woods and kill a wolf.
Oh, the old.
There are no wolves.
The William King.
There are no wolves.
That was a day. That was an era.
Yeah,
I kind of miss them.
I like no better vision than hairy Valkyries, okay?
I mean, they were goofy, but they had a character to them back when the whole setting was goofy.
It was a little goofy, but at the same time, it was, they were Vikings more than they were wolfy.
Yeah.
And, you kind of got that. You're like, okay. And there was kind of an arc there with Ragnar Blackmane.
Wolf time. And the Wolf Father, he was the Wolf Rune of the Wolf magic.
Now, he has the wolf cereal from the wolf milk, and he's ready for wolf breakfast.
Don't say wolf milk. Don't say wolf milk.
Hey, Scruffy's going to talk about the juice,
That's right,
whatever the juice is.
Yeah.
He's juicing the wolves.
Yeah.
Make sure you drink your wolf juice tonight, boys.
Yeah, this episode is sponsored by Wolf Juice.
Wolf juice.
Get yours today.
It's better than tiger blood. Oh.
God damn. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I've been meaning to ask you guys this. What was, in your opinion, the most, I guess the most pleasurable time to play Horus Heresy this year? Like, when did you enjoy it the most, right? Like, when is it like you were playing, you were like, yeah, this is fun. There's nothing too broken. I know what I say, but I'll let you guys go.
I haven't played in a bit, like actually played and had fun. I would say it was Sanguinius Altar release. I had so much fun after that came out. It's been a downhill adventure since.
That's March, eh?
Yeah.
I would probably say that's a tough one because there's been some good patches where I was like, oh right, this is I finally get to try some stuff out that's different, but I would probably say either right after Malkador got patched to 0 energy and playing the Agents of the Sigillate with that kind of like cerebral style, or just after the Imperial Fist launched and just playing 100 games with each of the Imperial Fist Warlord and getting used to their style and not playing Stalwart Defenders in Sigmund and actually doing like a mono Warlord with that. That was kind of fun, but I feel like I had more fun playing the Agents of the Sigillate games because I felt like that was a lot more interactive with the opponent.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair. No, that's good. I remembered that. Yeah, for when pretty cool. He's still a very, a warlord that is not consistent.
No, and especially against some games like Camba Diaz, he's like, well, I guess I'm not using this ability. This is gonna suck.
I guess I'm gonna die.
Yeah. I don't know about you, Dorn, because you stopped.
Yeah, but I mean, you said all time, as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
I guess it would be that brief moment where cultists were popular, I think, with Zardulayak. I think maybe it was like right before Knights, And more or less to say, back when I could run Cassian in High Terra, like 4,000 up, that's probably when I had the most fun, because everyone's like, what the fuck is this? And that just, I don't know, those conversations that sort of like, why are you running Cassian? That was a good time to me.
This answer is simple. I'm built different.
Yeah,
Or
that
just
was
stupidly stubborn.
Lahaie is cool, man. I love him. Like, he's
Lilac
one of
is the
those
best
warrior
player.
that is always good. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
he's never
Yeah.
bad. He's consistently good because he can use all of the good stuff from the war bearers, and he at the same time, the ability is great against stuff like normally what the warbearer would struggle against,
Right.
like the defenders
Yeah.
of Caliban or
Yes.
stealth. Like, his ability is good against the stealth or duplicitous. So he's got the tools, right? And he's got the special card that always go back to hand. So you always have a turn with him. That's good. That's a good warrior. That's a good design warrior.
Yeah. No, I agree. That's good.
Personally, for me, I would say this
I play a
year
lot of them.
when this are you sure? Did you really play?
I think I have. I think I've hit 500, 600 of Lilac at this point.
Now, did you
Nice.
play him when he was 30 HP though?
Was he 30 HP?
He was 30 HP on release.
Why?
That was the question we all asked.
Yikes! Yeah,
Who
for me
gave him
personally, I don't know. Well, you guys remember for sure when the Salamanders got buffed in September.
hmm
You
This is
remember?
where I felt like the game was at its most
Dorn.
violent state in a long time, man. Okay, and I say that because I play in top 50 all the time, right? And this is where in September, like, people were complaining about that, but do you realize what we got now and what we got in the meantime?
Right.
It's the
Listen.
crazy Empress Shooter, the crazy
No, no.
Ultramarines, the crazy Knights before that. But when you think about it, I say that I did not play Salamanders that month at all. And I
You have
had
to
a
remember
blast. I had
that
a blast
time.
playing everything else but Salamanders. Playing against Salamander, I liked it. It was fun. September was a great month to play.
I think that's fair
You have
because
to remember what you said was people have been complaining. People will complain about you breathing air slightly
Yeah.
different than that.
that's the big thing. Because I mean, I guarantee you, and I mean, we'll go on the record now. In 3 months' time, there'll be some other hot to trot complaint that everybody's going to have. I mean, that will like make you would think White Scars was just like, oh, the worst thing ever. Realistically, this year alone, we've had some pretty worse things. White Scars
had a lot
is the current one. I mean, if we had to take a look like at the big five that have been a pain in the ass. I'm not just talking like, you know, like what is, I mean, mainly what's winning ladder, but also just like these are just like annoying things. We had Korn's Favor in multiple different styles and iterations. Korn's Favor Karn, right? We had Luther, which was like on release, like just making troops not playable. Camba Diaz is still the way he's always been, but a lot of people just felt like that's just okay. I guess I lose. You had you have the White Scars, and then early on in the year, I feel like Sisters was a big thing. Like Janisha Kroll and the Sisters in general were just kind of. I mean, I don't think they were the end all, but I think a lot of people got tired of them because they just had answers for everything. They still kind of do, but they have been tempered a little bit. And then you had Solar Auxilia, just in like, oh,
Break the
Lucretius.
game.
Yeah, just like Lucretius, Solar Auxilia. Guess what? This is just ridiculous. And then I think there was one more in there. I feel like there's one more at the start of the year where it was just like, why? Why do we have this?
That's just night. That is just night, period. And I totally agree with all you said, Scuff. I will tell you, in my opinion, in 3 ones that I touch really hurt the game. Why? Because I saw, as the leader of Masterclass, I saw a lot of players quit during those 3 times. Okay?
Yeah.
During the night era,
Mm-hmm.
night era, which lasted 3 months, easily 3 months, up until the release of the new expansion. Okay.
Yep.
3 months of that made us, not just me, I said me, but I know for you, Scuff, as well, and any other leader out there from a community, made us lost a lot of good players that stopped playing the game because of that. So Knights, when Solar Auxilia got out, I swear to God, there was so much frustration. It was insane.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I know it, but Quinza, right now, I see people fucking telling people to fuck off, kill themselves and shit because they're playing Quinza. Like, those three, in my opinion, the Knights, the Solar Auxilia meta, and then the Quins that we got currently are the three worst we've had this year, in my opinion. That really made people quit the fucking game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, I think, I was just taking like a look at back, because I think that was a big thing. We had people drop off with Knights, and it was like, okay, this game, and it's not getting better, because like, really, what did they change with Knights? 3 months, they changed Flame Cannon. And then finally, they were like, oh, now I guess we'll change, the whole Stunning the Warlord and a couple other cards, which is all they needed to change to begin with. Right.
Yeah.
It took them forever to get to that point. And in that time, a lot of people just didn't want to deal with it, and they got frustrated, and they bailed. I was looking at the podcast results, because we started the podcast in January of this year. I think it was like the second week in January, somewhere along the way. And the audience dropped off about May, which is right before the new expansion kicked up in there. And we were getting, I think at the highest point prior to that was 303 downloads, 280 downloads, and then come May, 230 down to 130. And then it was it took a long time up until November before we got, and granted, the Q&A we did in November helped a little bit to spike the number, but we shot up to almost 500 downloads in November.
Nice.
Which is more than we've ever had. But I mean, it's interesting to see that rise in the peak and fall, and it was really tied to the state of the game, where people are like, why should I be excited? Why should I be interested? There's nothing new coming out, or I'm frustrated with what the game is. I don't even want to enjoy it, and people just walk away. And hopefully, where we're getting some people back with the Galaxy and Flames stuff, even though they've got to put up with white scars for the time being. There's still other things that they can at least look forward to, play for new cards, play event.
I don't know about you, Scott, but personally, normally I always recruit people into the Masterclass community every month. I need, people taking break and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I say that, I mean for all lodges. I recruit for all of our lodges. And actually, this is the first month in over more than a year where I did not recruit anyone new. It was just people coming back.
Yeah.
It was just like a guy saying, hey, man, I'm back. I want to play event. I want to play that. You got any spot for me? I was like, yeah, man, I'll just throw you back in. So that felt really good.
Yeah, I would say September, October felt like, man, it's like, man, we have a couple lodges, a couple that were below 15 members. Is we're not getting any recruits, and then this month everybody's filled up, which is great, and a lot of it is just people coming back to being active, and which is great. That's what you want to see. You want to see people engaged, people chatting up again on the Discord, because they've been quiet for a while. I don't know. I think a lot of it's tied to the new cards. I do think some of it might be tied to the holidays too, and the season timing, as some people are getting out of school, whatever the case may be. But I think generally the whole month of December has really seen a lot of players returning and kind of excited, hey, what does this new cards do for this faction I really liked? I heard that they're getting new cards. And sometimes they were like, oh, that's it. And then other times they're like, oh man, I can't wait. So, and the changes to the Emperor's Children, to the Salamander, to the Thousand Suns, all of those kind of helped too, because it was touching on oh man, a new way to play these factions. It wasn't just oh, they changed a couple cards. Wow, they changed a lot. Granted, some of that is a little bit bonkers than others, depending on where they are at currently. But it was nice. People were like, oh, I can play Lucius. I want to try Lucius again. Which I enjoyed playing Lucius. I didn't see a whole lot of people dive into play Nemetor, but
I tried, okay? The big buff he's got to Survivor.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. They gave him something.
Yeah, but you're right. And really, September was, it was when it started, the big patches. Because before that, they were doing small stuff. And it wasn't fun at all. I'm so glad that they started doing that. Let's do that for now, okay? I have all four of us. If you have something you wish that will happen in 2022 for this game, okay? What I personally wish is that they start doing hot fixes. Hot fixes, for those that don't know what they are, is just small fixes that are meant to correct something that is wrong at that present time, okay? Which would mean in the current time right now would be Quinza, maybe 3 cards. You know what I mean? If they would start doing that. I'm not talking about crazy bullshit, okay? I'm talking 3 cards. You see that people are getting fucked over by crazy combos, crazy bullshit. Well, you fix 3 cards mid-month, that's it. Let's say one week or 2 weeks after the initial big patch. Do a hotfix. I wish for New Year, I really hope every guild do that. They start doing that. That is what I wish. Do hotfixes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. How about you?
Let's go for a lot because this is every guild.
What would be your wish for 2022?
I actually have to think. Like I was thinking the whole time as Pyro was going on. I'm kind of just happy with how the game is. If Mongolian Bike Man didn't exist.
I like how Quinza is like 2 syllables, but then you're like, Mongolian Bike Man, because I can't say Quinza.
Listen.
English is hard, eh?
I'm trying my hardest. Mongolian Bike Man.
What about you, Dorn?
Oh, geez. I don't have any wishes for the game because I don't think there's anything that would get me back in. I mean, that commitment to randomness. Oh, no, I really do. Because every now and then I'm reminded that Games Workshop, not necessarily Everguild, but Games Workshop, they love the D6. They love random. They love gambling. That's why, like, Scuff can talk about this. I threw myself into Blood Bowl because it was a fun change of pace, but at the end of the day, it was like, yep, at the end of the day, everything is about 6-sided dice.
Yeah.
That's part of why I left 40K back in the day for, at the time, War Machine by Privateer Press, because it was slightly less random. There were still dice involved, by all means, but it wasn't as extreme as it is in Games Workshop products.
You know what? Then I'm going to hijack it. I want Word Bearers to be meta for a season. Give that to me.
They've had that before.
No, fuck you. Another month.
Okay. Before we go to Scuffed, okay, you said Warbearers. In Masterclass, okay, I was so drunk one day. And
what is different from a normal day? What is different?
It was Tuesday.
2 days ago. Yeah, I mean, Larkin, the guy I was talking about earlier that loves Lorgar. And those guys were talking about Lorgar. I said, you guys, none of you can play Lorgar for a full month and do top 50 with it. If you do, I will do shotguns naked of beer.
Yeah,
It is pinned. It is pinned in the Masterclass channel. It is pinned there. No one did it so far.
I will pay someone to do it.
If the fucking word bearers become meta and Lorgar can do it, then I'm fucked. So please, no,
boys. We are going to live in a world where we can see Pirate naked do shotgun. So I'm just saying.
Well, you sound really eager for that. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I was going to say. Well, I was about Twitch before, so I guess he's going to join that e-thought life.
Right.
God. So yeah, what about you, Scott? You got any wish for the game for 2022?
Jeez, for 2022, I mean, we're getting 5th Warlord, so I feel like I can't wish for that because we're getting it.
6 Titans.
If I had
Face
to,
palm, you'll get your revenge.
I would like to see a new mode, and I'm not talking the infamous, second use gem mode added to the game. I would like to see them add something like an in-game tournament or ability to observe or two-headed, 2v2. I would like to see something in that regard added to the game to give people more ways to play the game. And I will add on to that because I think the campaign has been really good for new players. I would like to see them continue that trend and give newer things or more things for newer players to make it easier for them to step into a faction or to step into the game. Because I think especially these last 2 campaigns, giving a new warlord, like not just like, oh, here's Garrow, who wants Garrow? Here's, instead, here's the newest, Death Guard warlord. Cool. Like, I'd like to see them keep that trend up.
Yeah, that's nice when they did that.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, that's good things that you just said. I hope that happens.
Yeah, I'm not holding my breath for it. Although, to be honest, I mean, if we think about it, because this year we saw the campaign added, We saw the achievements added, which was kind of fun, but kind of pointless, you know? That was not something...
That was a
That's
big
a fun way
miss.
to communicate.
That was a big miss, in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel like they could have done more with it. It was, for all the hype that we got, it was like, campaigns was something new. They
2.0. We added achievement.
They added 2 extra cards to the stores, which are always rares or commons, so it's not like they really added anything to the stores.
If those could cycle as a legendary, that'd be...
They gave us...
Also, that'd fuck with my productions.
They gave us draft in event, which is a pretty significant change. Outside of that, I don't think there have been any major, like, game mode changes, right? Am I missing anything?
No, you got it right, I think.
Yeah.
Event, campaign... Yes, the achievements.
Yeah. So
that's pretty much it. Yeah.
So if they added something else in there, like if they were, and it amazes me too, because the topic has come up before, like they want to keep the game file size down, and I was looking at my other games, and when I say other games, I only have one other game on my phone, and it is. Let me just get the actual stats here. So. My file size, and if you actually have the game on your phone and you have the ability to take a look at it, you can see for yourself how it rates up next to other applications. So the Horus Heresy Legions game is currently on my phone is 503 megabytes. I have got the other game that has been out for 6 years that I've been playing just as actively is 6.99 gigabytes.
Yikes.
What's that?
That's Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle, and that is literally just a gacha game. That is not even a card game.
Was that old?
No, it's not even a card game. It's not even a strategy game. It's just a collecting thing. So, you know, I know that they want to keep it small, but I mean, we're not even at 1 gig.
Yeah, they want to keep it small, but that don't mean it gotta be that time.
Yeah,
exactly.
You dive into it. Yeah, dive into it. Give us
double down.
Give us a 2
gigabytes.
Give us a 2 gigabyte
Because,
Legions.
Yeah, we hear about those talks, okay, from not just the community manager. We see the post on Facebook. Like, they're taking a proactive way of trying to promote the game by, you know, giving out promo codes to us, content creators. You've got some, I got some.
Yep.
You know, and, you know, they gave you a Steam stream, which is big, and all of that. And I mean, I don't understand why you would keep the game and say, well, we want to keep the game size small, when clearly other games are bigger and you could do better, bigger, and that would be awesome for everyone. I mean, some things that disappoint me a bit, stuff like, the World Cup, right? When the World Cup happened. Mm-hmm. Canada won, we got the card back. Germany got a card back. France and Australia, right? The top 4. And then there was a new card back. That was a new Blood Game card back. That was great. We were so happy about that. And then comes Lodge War 5, and they fucking just gave us the same card back, which has a 2 on it. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Wait, it has a 2 on it for
Lodge War? It's the same. Like, originally, the 2 on it is because it's the second World Cup,
right? Right.
Yes.
Oh wait,
but then they didn't use. It's the Lodge War 5, and they gave us, and I mean us because I got it, which I mean I didn't get anything because I already had it.
Yeah,
we just gave that one to everyone in Masterclass played. So the 9 players that played, we all got that one, but that doesn't make any fucking sense. Why is there a 2 on that card back when it's the 5th for Lodge War?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is small things. We're talking about something that would take up, less than 5 megabytes. What? And you had guys out there doing the work for you. Come on,
right?
Man.
Yeah,
that part really, like, come on, make your game bigger. Who cares, right?
Yeah,
that's
especially
there must be a
it's just a
contract
cosmetic file. That's the biggest thing. Like, we're not even talking interfaces or mechanics or anything like that. We're just talking cosmetics.
Yeah, you want them. They told us, oh, we want the players to be proactive in tournaments. We want the tournament scene to be bigger. We want that to become something. Want people commenting live on Twitch. Want people to, okay. But then when it comes to actually giving out the prizes, you use a fucking reused card from another tournament. That don't make any sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those type of decisions frustrate me a bit. I'm not saying it's fucking devastating. It's not. It's just a bit frustrating that you're not doing, a bit more to get the people excited about that. Because I did the Lodge War 5 took me a long time. I assembled 6 teams from the Masterclass community to fucking participate in that tournament. I spent countless hours training with the guys in Masterclass because we wanted to win. Mm-hmm. And then at the end, I won fucking nothing because I already had the fucking card. I already had it from World Cup, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't give you the silver in place of that,
Like, I was offered silver by the community manager. I'm good.
Okay.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care.
It's it's something, but it is not unique to the Lodge Wars. And I that's the question, is like, if we do World Cup 3, Lodge Wars 6, is that going to be the same thing? Or are we going to be able to get, because it was that card back, they had to fight, that the TOs had to fight and beg to get a different card back other than just the Blood Games 1 card back for both those tournaments. So the fact that we even got one, that was an epic battle. It wasn't just like, oh, they had it on deck. We had to show, like, hey, this is what it could look like. It's really easy. Just add it, please. It would be great. It would be, something unique. And they did it.
Yeah.
And
it's crazy because the World Cup 2, if you ask me, it was the biggest tournament. The World Cup 2, it is. It was the biggest tournament of the game.
Yeah, I think so. I think both World Cups have been pretty top competition, definitely.
Yeah, but the second one, I talk hype. I talk people talking about it. Like, I was seeing left and right, creators posting stuff about that. I was seeing people talking about it constantly. It was really big, right? And then Lodge War 5 happened. Nothing of that happened. It was really disappointing.
I think the big thing with Lodge Wars 5, and it's nothing against Terse, I think part of it was designed to try to keep it subdued, because previous Lodge Wars kind of devolve at some point with some personalities. He tried to get people to do streaming, like in stream commentary with some of the creators, and some players just didn't want to share their deck lists. I myself, I gave up on that on like the third Lodge Wars, because I would ask the guys who were playing, like, if they didn't want to give their deck profiles. Okay, that's fine. I get it. Especially in a long-term series, you don't, but we weren't tied to one warlord. Like, every week was a different warlord, so it didn't make sense to not want to share that. Because some of those were really good games, but for whatever reason, there just didn't seem to be the same, I don't want to say interest, because I think the interest was there. There just wasn't the same, like,
motivation, I guess.
Yeah, motivation or just cooperation. And the cool thing that came out of World Cup 2, especially, was I think we got like 3 or 4 more guys doing content over this last year. Some new guys have joined, like Midnight. Mr. Midnight started doing content this year. Ballguard had a really good bit where he was interviewing the teams. And I think this is like right when I was doing moving, so it was like perfect that people were still covering it, because we were talking about it on the podcast, but I really didn't get a chance to do any games. Who else? There was like one other guy that was...
Yeah, well, Lamia started too during
yes.
that time.
Yeah, so I mean, and Lamia's done content for a while, but it's good to see more people putting out there, because I think all total we've got 21 content creators for the Legions that I'm aware of, and like 5 or 6 of them have stopped doing content.
Yeah, guys
Come
like
back,
Pyrus. Yeah, Pyrus, Kymartos, all those guys.
Yeah, Kymartos, I know he did spoilers for Galaxy and Flames, but I think he's kind of hung up the hat for a bit. And I think Physics isn't doing anything anymore. So I mean, if we've got more people joining on to do that, and especially for a big tournament like World Cup, it was cool to see, like, all right, and then they're getting an audience because people want to see that content. And then you go to Lodge Wars, which would be the next transition, and it just didn't pick up steam. Yeah.
It really didn't, and that's sad, but hopefully, looking forward, I know there's talk of a World Cup 3 and Lodge Wars 6 already from the TOs. Honestly, I don't know if I'll participate. I've had my share of big, it takes a lot of time and effort, man.
Yep.
Especially if you want, like, it took me like 2 days for Lodge War 5 of messaging every fucking members in Master Community if they were interested.
Yes.
It is a lot. Then you have to make teams.
Yep.
Then you have to make sure everyone play because you want them to play, right?
Yep. Don't miss your games. Did you have your matchups? Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, people think that, I did 16 because I wanted to win. Of course we wanted to win, but I did not make 16 just because we wanted it. I asked everyone who wanted to play, and then I made teams according to that, and then we go forward. That took a lot of fucking time. I don't know if I want to do that again.
Yeah.
Shit.
It is a lot, team. It's especially the way the Lodge Wars was this last time around. The rosters were different. There was a bigger team. It wasn't just 3 people where you're like, oh, how's it going? It was like, okay, who's playing this week? Who are you playing? What are you playing? Do you need any help? Like, it was a constant thing, and it was definitely, the big tournaments are really fun, but yeah, like you said, they're a big time commitment. Even if you're not playing, if you are in the role of captain or lodge master, it's really a lot more consuming.
Very, very. World Cup fucking lasted 5 or 6 months. That's a long time, man.
Jesus,
where every week you play
Yeah.
something. Yeah. It started in March, ended in August.
Yep.
Fuck.
Yeah, fuck it is.
I mean, and I
Crazy.
think there might have been like only really 1 week or 2 where there was a delay, like because of a patch or something. I really don't think there was like actual weeks off. It was just that many games because of the way that the brackets and the format was set up.
Fuck,
The
wasn't
only-
like the second episode of the podcast we talked about the World Cup?
It was actually,
The
I think
third.
it was the third, and that was the first. That was the second episode with Dorn, because Dorn was
Yeah.
actually on the first episode of the podcast,
Dorn is an OG boy.
way
Whoa.
back in January.
A year already.
Yeah. Speaking of,
Wow, he said it. He said the word, the EH word.
I mean,
Yeah.
in a year review, I find it interesting. I was just taking a look at the top for the whole year for the podcast. So our statistics, our top 3 episodes, episode 35, which was our Q&A with the devs, that is our number 1
obviously.
episode because we had a lot of people who normally don't listen, just kind of tuning in. Our second,
A lot of people didn't want to listen because they hate podcasts, and I gotta ask why.
you just listen. I think they.
What
just
have we done to you?
Our top 2 episode was actually episode 1, still holding up, which
Hey,
was
nice.
interesting. I think just a lot of people like, I guess I'll start at episode 1 maybe. I hope that's not where they. I mean, granted it was fun, but I think our format evolved over time since then. So don't judge us by episode 1. And then number 3 was episode 10 and episode 4. Those are both tied. Touched by a Dark Angel and Balance Patch. I Choose You. Those were tied for 3rd.
Those names are great.
We had we had the majority of our audience, our downloads happen in the United States with 839. United Kingdom, it comes in second with our listenership with almost 400 downloads, followed by Germany in 3rd, and then Canada and Italy round out the top 5. But we have had downloads in some interesting places: New Zealand, South Korea, Indonesia, India. Some of these are just 1 or 2 downloads, but the fact that we've got people out there listening in Brazil and Argentina, Mexico, Spain, shout out to everybody out there, Norway, Sweden. So
All one of you.
whether it was
love
just for a couple episodes or it's been every one for 3 or 4 before they stop playing, I appreciate the listenership for sure.
Is there Denmark on that list?
Denmark. Let me zoom in on the map here.
Because if it's there, I know exactly what it is. It is fucking Lurax.
Perfect.
I've got
Yeah, that's the only guy I know from
I've
that.
got-
Congrats.
Austria
On
at
him being
6,
banned.
Switzerland at 11. I can't zoom in on Denmark, so I don't know.
That's too bad.
Poland's at 30. Serbia, Montenegro. Why can't I get those countries, but I can't get Denmark? I don't know. Greece.
Poland. I know Poland is Terrorist.
Cerberus?
Fuck.
Yep, Poland's got
Yeah,
30.
Cerberus.
Ukraine,
Yeah, that,
Belarus, Finland, Sweden.
Lamia's Belarus.
Yep, Russia's got 38. So, yeah. Kazakhstan.
Oh, well,
Uzbekistan.
That is not surprising. That is not surprising. you know that Russia is approximately half of what the game population is.
Yeah.
I believe it.
But they won't listen to an English podcast because obviously they don't speak English.
Yeah, it's not
Or
their primary.
not really.
Some of them do, and we
Because-
love you.
I don't know about Shuska, but I watch on the content I do, and I got an average of 1,000 views by videos right now. And my top country is USA, and then the second one is Russia.
Yep.
And those are very big. They're very close. And then if you check the subtitle, I don't do subtitle, okay? But there's
Could
a
you
lot
even?
of... What?
Could you even?
Yeah, no problem. I mean, and then there's a lot of people putting, subtitle there in English, and I'm pretty sure that's the Russian people. The one generated by YouTube automatically. Because a lot of people watch my videos from Russia, but they don't understand what the fuck I'm saying. They just watch.
Right, they're just watching what's going on screen. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's Russia.
Yeah.
That's
Well, and I
exactly
think
that.
there's a couple like Cyphus Kane, and there's a couple other guys that I see their content for.
Lamia, Kane, and Constantine,
and then Mass Sucker's a newer one, but he speaks in English a little bit. But he is actually from, I want to say,
isn't he from Finland?
I think he's from Finland because he's in Iron Seal, Finland. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I messaged him to see if he wanted to be on the podcast, but he said he wasn't comfortable with his English. So maybe that'll improve over time. But
I don't really watch. That's the thing about me. I watch some content on there on YouTube, but I don't watch everything because obviously some people are just just small stuff, but not just that. Just some people are just. Why would I? And no offense to anyone, but at my level, I don't really want to watch you play if you're not entertaining. You know what I mean? Yeah. But if you're not funny to look at when you play or something, I don't need to see your gameplay. I'm better than you.
Are you not entertained?
Well, that's the big thing. I think everybody's got their different things that they bring. Like if you're just playing games and replay, then like Games of Ladder, then it's only good if you're under that ladder rank because you want to see what they're playing above you. But if they're playing below you, then what's the point? But if they're talking about what's going on in top 50, that's why, like, one thing I do, a lot of my stuff is really more like just general game stuff. I'll do replays, I'll do deck videos, but I enjoy talking about the updates and about the factions and about mechanics and like more like if you don't know the game very well or you're new to the game, these are things that you should know. Like versus like, okay, watch me play. Like, go play the game yourself. Yeah. Like, if you want to play the game, go play the game how you want to play it. I'm just showing you what there is to know.
Exactly. I wouldn't recommend anyone watching my stuff if they haven't played the game before, but I would recommend watching your stuff because you explained it. Like, I'm like Vapix. I'm lazy. I just do stream on Twitch and then I take the good parts and the fun parts and just put that on YouTube. That is very lazy content. It works, but it's very lazy. You know what I mean?
Right.
But if you don't know what the fuck the game's about, you're going to watch my stream and go, okay, that guy says funny and stupid shit. He looks like a dumbass sometimes. That's funny, but I don't know what the fuck's going on. You know what I mean?
Right. What are these cards? Like, what? I don't understand. I know Space Marines. That's all I know. Like, so the big thing for me when I started doing the videos, because I think what kicked it for me was when I was playing, I enjoyed the game a lot. Raven Guard came out and I was like, wow, this game has picked up to an actual strategy level, like sentenced and stealthing and like Korax, and like I could finally feel like this is actually just a card game. And I would talk to people and they would be, they come from tabletop or they don't understand card games, so their entire opinion or argument about why they don't like the game or they don't understand a thing was based on that. Like, this isn't anything like the tabletop. Like, whoa. Like, if you play card games, you would know these things. So that was one thing when I started. I was like, okay, let's talk about it as a card game, because there's some things that just don't translate, and if you're going to play a card game, you need to know these concepts. And then it kind of evolves from there, because that's the big thing. Like, if somebody's coming in, they love 40K that love Warhammer 40,000, that love Horus Heresy, but they don't know anything about card game. They just like to play Death Guard, or they like to play Thousand Suns, and they'll be like, I don't understand why I have Psyker Energy. What does that do? Like, okay, well, let's talk about, 2 energy pools. Let's talk about the tactics and how this faction plays, so you have a better understanding. And then as it relates to that, what are the weaknesses? What do you need to keep in mind, as opposed to just like, well, I like to summon demons. You're like, well, that doesn't really work for Thousand Suns. It's not the same,
Yeah, exactly. It's
Well,
exactly.
I like demons.
Your tabletop army does not equate to your deck.
Don't worry, I learned that the hard way with Death Guard. Dark Guard.
And
Listen,
Dash is hard, motherfucker.
you don't get to say anything. You're clipping. Wow.
I'll bet you the Dark Guard are a chapter in 40K. I'll bet.
Dark Guard? I'm gonna Google it. We gotta find out.
I'm sure if we look up Lexicanum or something,
You
I'll
should
bet
be-
you they exist.
You
And
should
if they're
be able
not, I'm
to.
making them.
There's a lot of, I bet you, like, if you just slice together names of like existing legions and or chapters, you could come up with a bunch that already exist, like the Death Ravens or the Ultra Fists.
I think there's a thing. Not the Death Ravens, I think, are a thing.
But we have
I know
Blood Ravens.
we had almost Death Angel.
Okay, the closest I can get is the Black Guard instead of Dark Guard.
I'll take
Oh,
Black.
that's not
That's-
good. But
That's old
yeah,
Warhammer. That's
Yeah.
not 40K.
40K, the Death Angels almost happened when the Death Guard allied with the Fallens, and that was during I forgot the name of the novel, but they were facing against Azrael and all that stuff, and Typhon.
Typhon. Yeah,
You
he's,
both are
he's
correct.
Typhus and
Yeah.
he's Typhus in the 40K.
Yeah. Almo was allying himself with Astalan. They were planning on creating the Death Angels. That was because it's a merging of the Death Guard and
See?
the Death Angels.
It
I'm
sounds
not-
like an episode of DBZ. Like, okay, we're gonna fuse. What should we call ourselves?
So I will say I did find an article for the Death Angels chapter, but it's in I feel like it's Dutch or something. I'm not sure what language.
But it never happened. It was a talk during the novel. It was a talk. Like they wanted to do that, but it
Imagine if
never
that
actually
happened.
happened.
That's the
Yeah, I'll
edgy.
send
That's
this.
an edgy ass name, not the edgiest, because
The Death
40K.
Angels.
That's angsty.
If we just had to make the edgiest name with just the base legions, not Secundus chapters.
Like combining their names.
yeah.
Ooh, I want to say Night Ravens.
Okay.
Night Ravens
See?
are bad.
What era of edgy? Because I'm gonna say the Flamehawks that had a fucking nuclear like mushroom cloud as their symbol.
See, that's fine, but we need to jam. Wait, you said legions or chapters?
Just legions.
Okay, just the 18. We need to jam their names together to make some.
The Space
You gotta use.
Suns.
You got Death Lords.
The Space
Death Lords.
Suns. The Space Suns. That's
Death Lords. I'm going Death Lords. We're combining Night Lords and Death Guard to Death Lords.
Okay.
Wait,
Like because of the Space Wolf, we can actually make so much ridiculous.
I may not
Like-
win here, but I think I'm doing good.
Like
the two
it's-
Canadians. If you could look in the chat, I posted an article for Death Angels. I'm not sure if this is right. I feel like this might just be a supplement, whereas the one in another language that I
that's
couldn't.
French. That's French, buddy.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
This
we
is-
know it's French.
I found multiple non-English articles about
Death
Death
Angel
Angels.
is the name of a card game.
I would say I'm gonna go with Dark
Oh wait, that is
Death
the
Blood.
Blood.
that is a game about the Blood Angels.
Oh,
Okay, but there
Death
was one about a chapter. I just can't tell what language it's in.
Is that Space Hulk? Oh my god,
It
that's
looked like
Space Hulk.
Space Hulk, or it's the same artwork at least.
That is a fantasy flight game, Space Hulk.
Oh yeah.
I actually have a program on my thing to help with French.
I have that game.
so-
If you have never played it, it's a mono. When I say mono, like it's cooperative player. You can play by yourself if you want, or you can play with several friends, and you guys are basically playing against the game. And basically, what you do is like when you play the like one deck is basically the encounters or the gene stealers or the tyrannids that you encounter on each floor, and you have to position your characters, your terminators facing one way or the other, and you walk up the hallway and you arrive at various parts of the Space Hulk, and then Tyranids emerge, and you have to kill them, and you have to get to the next level. And then I think after like 3 levels, you basically win the game. The problem is surviving, because if you fail a hit roll and there's a Tyranid at lethal range, the guy's dead.
You
so
die.
like they have hit points, they're just gone.
Yeah.
Very spacey.
They made a board game there's a board game, and then there's a video game that's by that too. If it touches you, you're donezo.
The card game is really fun. They did an expansion that added a couple like unique Tyranids, like the Lictor, and I think there was a Gene Stealer Brood Lord, and then they did a second expansion, which was they just basically alternate characters instead of Blood Angels. It was Dark Angel Terminators, so that was cool. I've got that in a box somewhere. I've got all of them, and for a while there, because it was Fantasy Flight, it was print on demand. So it wasn't like you could get in the shop, you just had to order through their website. But now that they don't have the GW license, you can't get it.
Sad days.
It is.
Hey, by the way, just because, we're on the new year and stuff.
Oh, shit.
What is, if you guys are looking back at 2021, okay? It doesn't have to be Horus Heresy Legion related, but I mean, I guess it's more interesting for the people listening. But what is something that you're proud of, or, some stuff, multiple things that you're proud of that you did this year? Let's start off with you, Axel. What you got?
Why do you got to put the guy who's struggling to speak English tonight on the spotlight?
Because it's the most funny. Because grammar is hard, eh?
Fuck.
He just growls at the microphone.
I regret nothing.
Chaos spawn noises. No, I guess nerdy as this is, because I mentioned a couple episodes. Fuck, I have this giant campaign running for D&D. That's my first. I went balls to the wall for it, and I'm having a great time.
Nice.
I made a world and everything, and the party is having a fucking horrible time because they're idiots, and I love it.
Nice. That's cool, man.
I don't know. I got a new job. 2021 has been shit, because of course it has, but there's been some good.
All right. What about you, Dorn?
Most proud of. I guess, so for context, there's a art series that you can apply to be a part of, where you have to create these 50 cigarette box-sized pieces of art that are then sold through old cigarette vending machines from the 20s and 30s. I applied and was accepted years ago, and then got fired from a job and just kind of put the box in a cabinet, never came back to it while I was trying to get my financial situation sorted out. And just this vacation for Christmas, I finally finished my series of 50. So I just got to wrap them up, get a cellophane on them, and ship them out to a cigarette machine.
Nice.
That's cool.
We had a machine.
Oh, yeah.
We had one of those machines at the McCarran Airport.
Dorn condones smoking. Continue.
Really?
Yeah, there's a lot in the West. I knew people that found them in California, and I ran into them both in Georgia and I forget where else.
This is fascinating as a Canadian, by the way.
I think they've got them in Canada too. They're all over the world.
No, this is fascinating, because in Canada you can't sell cigarettes that have any cool packaging. They have to have a photo of someone suffering from a horrible disease on it.
Well, it's not cigarettes though. The artwork just has to be in a cigarette box or the size of a cigarette box, so the machine can handle it.
The way it was wording.
Yeah,
I thought you were selling custom-made cigarettes.
Those machines used to sell cigarettes, but they've been
no. Okay, that's cool. I'd like to buy little arts, just little arts.
Awesome. What about you, Stache?
Dorn hits them.
Most proud. I don't
know. Go.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would actually say this podcast, because this has been a project of something I wanted to do for a year and a half before I got it started, and I didn't have the technical equipment for it. And I finally was able to get around and get the laptop or the computer set up and actually look into how to properly get it on a platform and get it out on podcast platforms. And the fact that it went beyond just 2 or 3 episodes, and this is episode 39 over the course of the entire year, and that's 39 weeks out of 52 weeks. And I obviously had to take a break moving in between during the summer, so that kind of cut out some of that time. But yeah, I would say this podcast is definitely something I'm really proud about. And I've enjoyed it. We've talked with people. Shoot, that was one thing I wanted to do before we sat down. I wanted to do a list as far as how many different countries we've talked from players all over the world on the podcast, different guests we've had over the course of the year. Some guys I've talked with on Discord before, some of them I just mentioned once or twice, different content creators. Some guys have been on multiple times, different, interests. It's really been an enjoyable project, and I'm looking forward to continuing it next year.
Awesome. That's actually cool too. That is you're the only one that has that type of content too. So that is awesome, both for the game and for yourself. I mean, you're talking to all different people, so that is awesome. From all different places too. I mean, Facebook, Reddit, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's just great to hear from all those people.
Yeah, there's a big player base, and the fact that they're listening and just wanting to be part of it or chime in or have a discussion, and it's been really good. I haven't had anybody say, no, I don't want to be on your stupid podcast. So that's good.
That would be kind of mean. Like, fuck you.
Yeah.
I've heard that response of no, I don't want to listen to it because some people hate podcasts. Anyone who's asked wants to
honestly, you should. I know Steve doesn't play the game, but you should ask Steve if he wants to be on the podcast.
I don't think anyone in this room is that part. In this virtual room.
I think the last time I tried messaging him, he either wasn't on the server anymore, so I couldn't message him, or he's got me blocked. I'm not sure. That was like a year ago.
Steve came back from cigarettes to CMC didn't want him anymore. And I find that hilarious.
He's not a big fan of yours, but that would be pretty funny to get it on the podcast. Yeah. There would be a lot of fucking cursing though.
Right. That's true.
A lot. God damn. So yeah, for me personally, I'm very proud because I've been the leader of Masterclass since January now of 2021, so it will be a full year after this season. So I'm proud of I haven't been able to manage that full year now. Proud of winning the World Cup with Canada, LCFR and Grumpy Ghost, both my teammates. I'm super happy we won that tournament. I'm also super happy that Masterclass finally won Lodge War after failing for 4 Lodge Wars in a row, where they just got their asses handed to them. Just didn't really work out at all. So I'm glad that we won that. And most importantly, I'm very glad that it's gonna be a full year after tomorrow. So I guess you guys, when you listen to that, it will be already done. But it will be a full year of the Masterclass community not losing a single season in a year. Last time we lost a season was against Seekers in December 2020. So in 2021, we are undefeated, and it will be again tomorrow. So there will be a full year of not losing. So all of those are just achievements in the games that I'm proud of, having doing them, and just happy, it happened. It's fun, it's cool. So yeah, that's pretty much it from me, boys.
Cool. Yeah, it's been a year. And we've talked about like a lot of this, like some of the good, some of the bad, and it's funny when you think about it. Someone's like, yeah, that was in 2021, that wasn't in 2020. Man, we're getting on the 2-hour mark. We're kind of like winding it down. I guess I don't know. Like you guys want to plug? Let's plug.
Yeah.
Fuck my plug. Normally I just plug you, Dorn.
I know.
How's it going, Judy?
You're gonna have to plug something else, bud.
Yeah.
Not in public.
I'm going to plug whoever can become the Logar King to get fucking help me. I need an adult.
Jesus Christ! Somebody help the poor man.
The crab is staggering on his 6 legs over here.
Fuck!
I'm leaning on a claw, boys.
He's gonna plug someone to help him out. Fuck sake.
Someone win as Logar so Pirate can be the naked shotgun man.
If you were gonna say the naked lady man, holy shit!
I'm having a blast, boys. It is a good time, and it's not even real New Year's. Oh fuck! I need to lay down. Hallelujah, Baba Booey.
Jesus Christ!
It's a good evening.
How about you, Dorn?
Wait, I guess Axel's not the only one affected. You started with me, I thought.
Did I?
Oh wait, no, I guess not. I'm still thinking of Pirate's question. I don't know. Shoot, I guess if Axel's not, I'll plug myself. I make artwork. You can find my stuff on Instagram at Drew Lee Clark, one word, or on my website, drewleeclark.com. That or plug Axel's piracy and very just kind willingness to provide perfectly legal books or media to anyone that asks him.
In case
Entirely legal.
I have legal books. They're totally legal. If I can remember what I'm saying today, I'm going to give them to you if you just ask.
To be clear, I only say piracy just because he's a really big fan of 19th and 18th century privateers. It's part of his friendship with Pirate Way, just loves pirates. Can't get enough of them. Yeah.
Pirate radio.
Well, speaking of pirates, Pirate, how about you?
I want to plug the because it's new year coming up. Just want to plug the entire Masterclass family. You guys are awesome. The future's looking bright. We've did a lot of good stuff, a lot of crazy stuff. I never thought we would be able to. That is another thing I was proud of. June, that was the third time we got the full lodge, the full Masterclass lodge of people that were in top 50. But without any visitors, so full Masterclass members. So for that again, guys, amazing. I love you guys out there. It's amazing. And now I'll thank you everyone out there that is keeping the game alive, giving this game the identity it has. I don't know any other games that has what we currently have. So many people invested. Not only content creators. Obviously, shout out to them. They're awesome. But just people just being passionate about the game, Warhammer 40K. I mean, that's awesome. So yeah, guys, thank you a lot. And I mean, let's keep going. It looks better in the future.
All right. Well, and don't forget to plug yourself. You're on Twitch.
Oh yeah. If you wanna have a really fucking good laugh seeing me, just be on Twitch and do crazy shit. You can check me out both on Twitch and YouTube. Pirate Lahaie, it's pretty easy. There's no one else that is named like that. That's a pretty fucked name. So just check that out, and you'll find me. It's always funny. I stream every week on Twitch, and I do videos on YouTube pretty much every week as well. So go check those out. Thank you, boys.
All right.
What was it again? Pirate Lee?
I could say it in real French, or I could say it in because if I say it in English, it's Pirate Lahaie. But if I say it in French, it's Pirate Lahaie. So
Three baguette, Shek, Baba Booey.
I'm gonna plug designated drivers for Axel.
Oh.
I'm also gonna plug
the low blow. Jeez.
That's right. Make sure you're driving. You've got someone to take you home, especially this New Year's Eve. Be it safe. If you must be out and about, make sure you've got a designated driver.
Rolling down a hill.
Make sure that designated driver has also got deck slots. Make sure he's got those because you're going to need those.
Make sure he's not me.
We've got 9 more warlords coming to the game, and I messaged Mr. Everguild to let him know that we need more deck slots, and he said he'll put the word in. They've got to get a couple other things out the gate with the neutrals and whatnot, so we might get those down the road, but we're definitely going to need them because I'm looking forward to 9 more warlords, and I want to actually be able to play them and not have to wait for the slots. They're there. So that's it. You know what, and I want to give a good thanks to anybody who has listened through the course of this year. If you're listening to this episode for the first time, or if you listen to multiple episodes, tuned in, maybe you shared the podcast, maybe talked about it with people in your lodge, maybe you didn't and you just kept it to yourself, or you commented.
You hit it.
Yeah, like in a secret closet, like don't let them know. Don't let them know.
My precious.
But I appreciate the audience. I appreciate the feedback that we've gotten. I appreciate everybody who's been able to be on as a guest, whether it's a repeat, whether it is, and we've had a couple guys who kind of stepped in at the last minute. Got a couple guys who are looking forward to being out, several weeks out, just depending on availability. We've made it work, and it's been a really enjoyable time. And I am looking forward to next year, like I said. So that's my plugs.
Fucking right. Good ones, man.
All right.
It's a good year, and it's going to be another.
Oh, shit. Yeah, it's New Year tomorrow.
That's
God
right.
damn.
Yep, sure is.
Well, for you guys, I think New Year's Eve is now. I've got another hour to go.
Oh, it is. That means I got to drink more.
You better start. You can't have a hangover if you never stop drinking.
Thank God the podcast is about to fucking end. Otherwise, what the hell?
Breaking news: Crab died live on the podcast.
Crabs don't have livers is the problem.
That's true.
You don't need one. You can get a new one.
What does a drunk crab look like? Like if he's walking?
I don't know what he looks like, but I can tell you what he sounds like. And hear him.
I need to see if there's any instance like how squirrels will eat fermented oranges to get high as fuck if crabs do the same.
That was an awesome time tonight, Scuff. Thanks a lot, man.
All right, well, that's it for me.
It was a beautiful one.
Bye.
See yous, boys.
It ends here.
This has been another episode of the Warp Chatter Podcast. Thank you for listening.
I can't help but appreciate your talents. It was inspiring.
I need some mood.